These 11 photographs stopped me in my tracks, and I can't wait to show you why. Each one has something special, something that made me pause, think, or just feel something. In the next few minutes, I will take you through them, sharing what makes these images stand out and why I love them. Hello everyone, my name is Tomasz from Frames. Let's dive in. Wow, this one just feels like summer, doesn't it? Everything about it radiates warmth, the sunlight, the colors, even the moment itself. You can almost feel that late afternoon glow, the soft golden light hitting from the right, wrapping everything in this cozy, dreamy atmosphere. And then there's the kids, completely lost in the world, playing in the grass, totally in the moment. That's what I love about this shot. It's not just beautiful, it feels good. The way they are framed in that open patch of grass is perfect. Surrounded by the house, the big tree on the left, and the forest in the background. It's like nature itself, it's cradling that scene. There is something so effortless about this image, but at the same time, it's incredibly well composed. It's one of those photos that instantly puts you in a good mood. Now, this is a portrait done right. Everything about it feels so polished and intentional, but at the same time, there is nothing forced about it. The first thing that grabs me, the connection. Look at the way she's engaging with the camera. There is a quiet confidence there, something so natural. And the lighting, perfect. Just soft enough to shape her face beautifully without any harshness. And the background color, such a smart choice. It complements her skin tone in this subtle, elegant way. Even the jewelry placement is spot on. Paul and the model definitely paid attention to the smallest details. I also love how the depth of field is handled. Her face and hair are in sharp focus, but then her arm gently fades into softness, giving the image this really nice organic flow. It's one of those portraits where everything just clicks. The light, the expression, the pose. Absolutely flawless. Now, this one hits differently. It's the kind of image that makes you really pause. We see an Israeli soldier standing here in Auschwitz, listening to an audio guide, just absorbing the history. And the way Paul composed this is powerful. The soldier is lit just enough to draw our focus, while the rest of the room fades into darkness. That contrast, that emptiness around him, it adds so much weight to the moment. And then there is the choice of black and white. It strips away any distractions and leaves us with just the raw emotion. No colors, no noise, just this quiet moment of reflection. I can't help but wonder what he's thinking as he listens. That's what makes this image so strong. It doesn't just document a scene, it makes you feel it. Okay, this one is wild. At first glance, it's just pure abstract beauty. Those deep blues and rich yellows split by that perfect shadow line. But then you read the caption and realize this is snow. What? How? That's the part I love. You are left wondering, was this done with colored lights? Some kind of natural effect? There's a mystery here, and that makes it even more captivating. And beyond the what and how, the composition itself is just stunning. That balance between the colors, the way the shadow creates this perfect separation, it's like a painting. You don't even need to know what it is to appreciate it. You just feel it. This one is all about mood. And the second you see it, you are transported into this soft, misty world. The fog does so much here. It hides, it reveals, it creates this beautiful mystery. Look at the trees, just slightly off center, standing alone. And that road, or is it a strip of grass? It pulls your eye in, makes you want to follow it, to see what's hidden in the mist. And the way this was shot, it couldn't be more perfect. The photographer used a Holga camera with Kodak Gold 200 analog film, which already gives this soft, dreamy quality. And in the natural fog, you get this almost otherworldly feel. But what I love the most, it's peaceful, but also a little eerie. There is something unknown in the distance, something we can't see. And that makes this image so much more powerful. Now, this is macro photography done right. I will be honest, I don't always get super excited about macro shots, but this one, well, this one really stopped me in my tracks. The detail is insane. Every tiny hair on the bee, every little texture, it's all there. But what really makes it work is the selective focus. Look at how sharp the eyes and the head are, while the wings and parts of the flower just melt into softness. That contrast between crisp detail and dreamy blur gives it so much depth. And then there is the composition, square format with the bee positioned just slightly off center. It creates this sense of movement, like she's just landed or about to take off. It's one of those images where you don't just see a bee on a flower, you kind of feel this tiny world it exists in. Really stunning work. Okay, this one is completely abstract. No clear subject, no recognizable scene, just color, texture, and movement. And I loved it. Some images don't need to show something specific. They just feel like something, something unknown. So the photographer clearly had a vision here. The way the colors are arranged shows that this is not completely random, it's intentional. The right side is dominated by these warm reds and oranges, while the left side has a cooler, more muted blue and yellow mix. But it's not perfectly split. It's slightly uneven, slightly organic, and that's what makes it interesting. Even if you don't know what's been photographed, you feel the care behind it. It's one of those images you could stare at for a long time, just letting your eyes wander. A perfect blend of photography and painting would look amazing as a huge print on a gallery wall. Okay, I have to admit, when I first saw this, I completely misread it. For a second, I thought these were urinals in a men's restroom. But then I realized, no, wait, she would not have gone so far as to enter men's restroom, to create this image. So what we are looking at is a Eurotunnel, between UK and France, and it's probably some kind of a part of the interior, in this tunnel, maybe in the waiting area, in the parking area. And now that I know it, I love it even more. It's such a simple graphic composition, those repeating shapes, the clean lines, and then that soft yellow light. It immediately grabs your attention. And the more you look, the more you notice. Like the tiny stains under each element, each one slightly different. It's that perfect mix of precision and imperfection. There is something oddly satisfying about it. Would I have ever thought to take this shot? Probably not, but that's what exactly makes it great, finding beauty and structure in the most unexpected places. Wow, what a perfectly composed architectural shot. This staircase, it's like a sculpture, a work of art in itself. And they've nailed the angle, the curves, the lines, the transitions between light and shadow. Everything flows so beautifully. And speaking of light, I love how soft it is. I'm guessing it's natural light coming from above, but whatever the source, it gives this soft gradient across the surfaces that makes the structure look almost organic, like something from nature. Your eye naturally follows the spiral upwards, and the best part, You don't even need to see the top. The mystery of what's above the frame makes the image even more engaging. It's architectural photography at its best, simple, elegant, and full of movement. This is the kind of landscape shot that sticks with you. Just layers upon layers of mist and mystery. And what I love most, it's not just a pretty foggy scene. It feels like something deeper, like a hidden story waiting to be uncovered. Look at that house in the background, barely visible, kind of tucked away behind that fog. What's over there? What's beyond the mist? That's what makes this image so engaging. The depth is incredible. The trees up front are crisp and sharp, but everything behind them just dissolves. It's almost like a painting where the details kind of fade into, brush strokes the further back you go. And you know it that Adriana worked to get this shot. You don't just stumble upon light and fog like this. You go on hike after hike, chasing those rare moments when everything aligns. And when it does, this is the reward. Absolutely breathtaking. I love when a simple object turns into something extraordinary. And that's exactly what's happening here. It's just a fork on a plate. But look at what Andrea saw. The way the light plays with the shapes, how the shadows stretch and overlap. It's not just a fork anymore, it's a study in geometry, in contrast, in precision. And I love that moment where the two circular shadows of the plate meet in the center, forming this darker area that grounds the whole composition. Even the fork's shadow split into two perfect lines just adds to the perfection. This is what photography is all about, observing light, noticing the everyday, turning the mundane into art. Would I hang it on my wall? Absolutely. It's one of those images that makes you stop and think how many other brilliant compositions are hidden in plain sight. I really hope you enjoyed this selection of photographs. Maybe they inspired you, maybe one of them even gave you that aha moment. Most of all, I hope this was a few minutes of pure visual enjoyment. But now I want to hear from you. Which image stood out the most? Which one surprised you? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.